You don't need a gym to build strength or learn cool calisthenic skills. All you need are these little bars. Let me show you how creative you can be with just your body weight and a pair of parallettes.
If you don't feel comfortable in your gym or in a public space, then you can do what I did, just do it at home. You don't need to even have a yoga mat. If you have a little quiet corner of your house, a small area that you can move the furniture, some carpet, then you're all set. And it's just good for your body, good for your mind, good for your soul.
Okay, first move on the parallettes is the crow pose. Now this can be quite tricky, so I like to get into it with my feet already on the parallettes, so I just have to lean forwards. The trick is to have a bent arm, so you have more surface area on the triceps to balance your knees.
That was a close one.
Throughout this video, you'll see a mixture of me wearing those Beetlejuice pants and then me with this brown crop top on. The brown crop top is me more recently doing more advanced moves with the parallette bars as I've got used to them and practiced at home. The crow pose definitely feels more secure now. After you've mastered the crow pose, it's time for the crane pose. This is the same position, however, you're trying to keep your arms as straight as you can, almost in a planche position, and this is still quite difficult for me. Can't hold for long, but watch this space. Two-handed elbow levers. Although this is a video for intermediate calisthenics, people that are trying to master their body weight on parallettes, this is a fantastic move that actually looks more challenging than it is and doesn't require that much strength and more body awareness and balance. It requires a good angle for it to film to look impressive, so this is not great, but if you see I'm filming from the bottom here and it almost looks like I'm floating or even flying, dare I say. I do have a separate video where I go into great detail of how I achieved this move and exactly the position of where you need to put your legs, torso, arms, etc. So if you're interested, there is a link to the video below. It is currently a two-handed elbow lever, but most of my weight is on the right elbow, so eventually I'll be able to do this move with just one arm. There are many other balancing positions you can use the parallettes for, and individually, like this one, for your ab compression strength. Talking about great exercises for the abs, the L-sit is a fundamental movement. You can practice it statically like I'm doing here, or use it part of a movement flow, where you do reps of bending the knees in and then the legs out again into an L-sit. A more advanced move of the L-sit is to hold the movement statically for as long as you can. This is a more recent video of me, and you can see I've improved slightly because my legs are straighter, and despite my face, I am more comfortable in this position. Once you've mastered a few movements on the parallettes, you may want to do a flow where we transition from one position into the next. Here I'm trying a tucked position into an L-sit. Now, during this time of filming, I wanted to go from the L-sit back into that tucked position and eventually into a shoulder stand, but I was too scared.
I'm too scared.
I thought it was important to include clips like this where I'm struggling in the video to show you that these movements and positions don't come easily to me, especially since I've never really trained with the parallettes, even though I've had them in my house for some time.
I'm too scared.
I do find certain movements more challenging than others, either because I don't have the strength yet or because I'm scared, like in this transition.
I'm too scared to do a shoulder stand, but I know I can do it. I just didn't want to do it for the video when I'm home alone and I could go wonk and die.
I didn't give up, and with a few tries and a safety pillow next to me, or sometimes underneath me to protect my head, I managed to nail the shoulder stand. I wanted to show you that with practice and patience, you eventually will nail that skill if you keep at it and don't give up. Now I've strengthened my L-sit so it looks cleaner. I can do a shoulder stand, and I can transition between an L-sit to a shoulder stand and back down into an L-sit again. Who knows, maybe one day I'll include a handstand into a shoulder stand and back up again to do a handstand push-up.
You have to control your breathing when doing these type of movements and exercises that are down to stretching yourself in your personal end ranges.
My attempt at a smooth transition as we move to handstands. Now, those of you with a keen eye will notice that there are no parallettes here, and that's because at the time of filming with my Beetlejuice trousers, I was too scared to attempt a handstand on the high parallettes. So during this parallette training session, I spent the handstand part of it doing handstands on the floor where I felt safe and I knew what I was doing. I was brave enough to try different handstand positions like the scorpion here, which I had just started learning when I recorded this, but clearly not brave enough to jump on the parallettes, until now. Of course I still get scary moments like this. On the whole, my transition to doing handstands on the higher parallettes has been pretty smooth. Before this, I learnt to balance my handstands on the smaller parallettes just because that helped me combat my fear. I'd say the only difference from the low to the higher parallettes is that when you kick up into the handstand, you need to bend your elbows a bit more the higher the parallettes. And be prepared for scarier falls.
Not particularly warm today, and I've removed my top. I've actually started to sweat, so there is some benefit with doing those movements. I definitely feel a little bit lighter, a little bit happier, a little bit ready to take on the next challenges at work, even if they are mental ones.
I hope that's given you some ideas about what to try on the parallettes if you are an intermediate in calisthenics. These videos where I'm wearing the brown crop top are me having played around and practiced with the parallettes for about 6 to 7 sessions, compared to the Beetlejuice trouser clips where I'd never really used them before apart from in the gym, and you can see you do improve relatively quickly. I'm also using the high parallettes to do weighted dips there. I'm a great advocate for home workouts, and I love to include a quick movement session with the parallettes in my home when I have a 20-minute break from work and they don't require that much space. I'm exploring my own capabilities with these parallettes, and like any new toy, it's been so fun playing around with them. Excited to see what else I can learn.
Not bad. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao!